You are listening to 40 Weeks with Vanessa Merton, host of the Pregnancy Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the 40 Weeks podcast, and welcome to week 8. At the length of about 0.6 inches right now, or 1.6 centimeters, your baby has graduated from a small blueberry to a raspberry, and that little raspberry is growing about a millimeter every day. If you could see your baby right now, you'd be able to make out their eyelids, the top of their nose, their upper lip, and that little one is about 3/4 of an inch long from top to bottom. And their brain, spinal cord, heart, kidneys, liver, and stomach have all begun to take shape. That tiny beating heart has divided into left and right chambers, and it's now beating about 150 times a minute, which is about twice as fast as your heart beats. You won't be able to feel it yet, but your little raspberry is making spontaneous movements in your belly by twitching their body and their arm and leg buds. And your amniotic fluid, which is the liquid that your little girl or guy is floating in, is increasing by about 2 tablespoons per week. Through the placenta, your little baby's able to absorb oxygen, proteins, sugar, and fat. Of course, I'm sure that you are keeping a healthy diet in mind for your little one. You may feel occasional cramping in your lower abdomen and sides, and these cramps are just normal as your uterus is growing. If you're a regular at the gym, you can probably ease up a little bit. Your heart rate is higher now, which means that you're not going to need to exert as hard to get the same aerobic result. Plus, the pregnancy hormone HCG makes it much easier to get overheated, so you're going to want to take well-timed water breaks. Bottom line, don't exercise to the point where you get short of breath, and listen to your body. It will usually tell you when you need to slow down. Your very first appointment with a doctor or midwife may be this week. The first thing that you're going to do at your appointment is take a pregnancy test. The next thing is they're going to figure out what your due date is. This is done with a calculation based on your last menstrual period. And while the due date is rarely the actual date that your baby is going to show up, it will be a relatively close estimate. If you do know when your last period was, this will definitely be helpful in calculating that. Tip for dad, go to the doctor or midwife appointments with your partner. Your partner can expect to have somewhere around 14 appointments throughout their entire pregnancy. So on 14 days, you'll see a doctor or midwife. That's it. Make it a priority to go to all of them, or at least as many as you can. This gives you a chance to be included and have some input on any major medical decisions. Also gives you an opportunity to ask questions and hear everything firsthand. If you have a question, do not be afraid to ask. I recommend keeping track of questions you have and making sure that they all get addressed at your next visit. Thank you for tuning in. Show notes for this episode can be found at pregnancypodcast.com/week 8. Next week, you can hear a heartbeat with a Doppler. And until then, I wish you the very best for your pregnancy journey. There are so many awesome resources available to you at pregnancypodcast.com, and you can sign up with your email address and your due date to get a weekly email with a link to the episode for your specific week every week in your inbox. I look forward to seeing you in the Pregnancy Podcast Facebook group, which is a great place not only to connect with some other parents-to-be, but also to be able to ask questions and get answers specific to things that you are dealing with in planning for your pregnancy and birth.